Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody to the council meeting for February 21st. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, before we think of other matters, we want to bring to you the family of Lisa Frazier and ask that you would care for them in this time of grief and the many that loved her and help them in their time of loss. We pray for this meeting tonight and for our city officials and leaders that you would give them wisdom to protect the most vulnerable in our community, because we know you are a father to the fatherless, a defender of the orphan and the widow. We think about the people who work to keep our schools safe, the fire department, the police department, as they serve the neighborhoods and streets of this community. We pray that you would provide free course for the industry and creativity of the people who live here, because we know you've made everyone in your image with your capacity to be creative. And the building departments and the business initiatives and the schools that educate, we pray that you would guide our community. We pray that you would promote the flourishing of families and communities here, but in the parks and in the neighborhoods and beyond, that the life of the people together here would be one that is marked by unity, by care, by love. And we pray ultimately that this community and these leaders would help us to be a place that displays the goodness of the way you intended this creation to look, that you are worthy to receive glory for all the things you've made. And we ask that you would help us today to take care of it, to steward it, and to lead this group to lead in that way. Amen.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear?
Here.
Dupre? Here. Ross?
Here.
Salcido?
Here.
Zor?
Here.
Tobin?
Here.
And Mayor Higgins.
Here. First thing tonight, this last weekend, we had a chocolate walk the DDA put on for us. And we have some prizes that we're going to do. I want people to know there was about 75 people come to our chocolate walk, and there was, how many businesses were involved?
27.
There were 27 businesses were involved, all of which gave prizes for the baskets. The adult basket is worth well over $1,200, and the children's basket is worth almost $600. And so we're going to do a quick drawing right here tonight, announce who they are. And then a little bit later on tonight, I believe Councilman Tobin will give us a little bit more about what happened at the chocolate walk. So if we could get the first 10.
Which one do you want?
Let's do the kids
The
first.
kids.
The kids first.
No, I can't open it. Can I get a drum roll, Ed?
I knew she's got that ukulele out. It is Lily
Shock?
Lily Shock. She is 7 years old, and she won this nice basket. Now for the adult one.
I'm gonna mix them up.
It's got cool stuff in it. This one?
Just one.
Okay. And the winner is Amanda
Jurista.
Jurista. We have their phone numbers, and we will be calling them tomorrow to let them know they are the big winners.
Do you want me to give those to Carl? Yeah. So we don't get lost.
And again, it was a very successful day. very nice that we got to see 75, our businesses got to see 75 customers that they haven't seen yet, and we get to explore our city, and just a wonderful, fun event. In the last 2 weeks, and also a couple of quick things on mayor's reports. I had a chance to sit down and talk with our new county commissioner, which was a very good meeting. Talked about maybe getting some money for some different projects that we need in the city, and talked about the situation with the creek and the couple of places that we need to get some help with. And she came also. City Council will be very happy to know she gave us a map that Larry former Councilman Larry was trying to get for Kelsey for a long time, to tell us exactly where our responsibilities end and the counties start under the viaducts, so we know who is supposed to clean what. So, big news.
Nice, very nice.
Doesn't sound like much, but it was a big thing. Those of us who have been working on that understand. I also had a very, very good meeting with the new state senator. Again, talking about some cash, talking about maybe getting some stuff for us, and also going over our trailer park, because a lot of people don't understand the city does not have a whole lot of say in what's going on in the trailer park. As far as our ordinances, we explained that to the state senator, who also did not know that. So she's going to help us out a little bit, and that's very good news. Do have a little bit of sad news. Our DDA director has informed us that he is going to be leaving us, so we will be in search for a new DDA director very soon. It's too early to wish Carl the best, but absolutely, that is what we want for Carl. He has deserved it and has done a great job for us. And lastly, a little on a personal note, for myself, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to do this. What happened at MSU is so sad, and the hearts go out for all of Lincoln Park to Michigan State and all of the kids in the state. And as somebody who has lost somebody and in a shooting like that, I just personally want to say it is time for it to stop. And it's time for Lansing to stand up and do something. I am not going to stand here and tell you I have the answers, but I will tell you what we're doing, or not doing, I should say, is not working. And it's time my people who vote, I've said enough. Let's do something to stop these shootings, or at the very least, try to slow it down. And that's all I'm going to say on my soapbox, but I had to say it. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Resolve the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and council. Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of February 6, 2023. Approve the minutes for the study session, February 6, code enforcement. Accounts and claims payable for over $25,000. Schedule a study session for food trucks. Solicit bids for the 2023 road and water main projects. Attend training for the Parks and Rec Playground Inspector. Approve Correction Act 51 map. Authorize a grant application for transportation alternative program.
I'll move.
Support.
Call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
those at the end. Down to the pink piece of paper.
I forgot that I put the pink piece of paper in there first. All right. First up is we have a budget thing, so I'm going to ask Lisa to please.
Sure.
Our budget director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Each year at the mid-year point of the budget cycle, we take a look at all of the budgets for the city to do an mid-year review and see where we're anticipating we're going to end up at the end of the year. This year, I am glad to say we are staying very well in line with our original budget. We did have a balanced budget at the beginning of the year. At the mid-year point, there's very few adjustments. I'll just touch on just a couple of them. On the revenue side, the largest increase is due to the increased interest rates the city is gaining. So that's good news. The last several years, we've had very low rates. The other adjustments there on the revenue side are very minor. On the expenditure side, the police department does have a decrease, primarily due to some of the positions throughout the year not being filled. We do have the contractual increases included in there, so still with that, there's a decrease. Fire department is over budget. That was the main one that increased this year due to some staffing shortages. The overtime was over, as well as some retirements. So those were over. The other ones within the city are pretty minor. Overall, we are anticipating right now an estimated contribution to fund balance of $56,000. That could change, of course, as the year goes on. But right now, we're staying pretty well in line.
I do want to say thank you. What the paperwork you gave us was very thorough and very easy to understand, and that's not always been in the past. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Through the chair. So when the police department, if they get the full staffing, will that be amended to be back increased?
Well, it's going to, we may need to, we may not need to. Right now, I believe there's 2 vacant positions, so it depends on at what point they get filled. Because right now, I'm anticipating all positions to be filled throughout the year, so we're still kind of running, you know, we still have a little bit too much budget is what I'm trying to say. So we shouldn't have to.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have anything?
Just a quick comment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Just want to say thank you, Lisa, for being so diligent with the numbers. Of course, our directors as well. It's always good when we're putting money back, even if it is a little bit.
Right.
Thank you.
With that, it's resolved that the Director of Finance be hereby authorized to adjust the general appropriated revenue and expenditures for budgets by the cost center of financial year 2022 to 2023 as submitted.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Yeah. Anybody? Call for a vote?
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. The next would be, I'll split the city manager speak on this.
Yeah, so at our last meeting, we had a study session regarding potentially reorganizing our code enforcement program, essentially splitting the duties of the LP Pride program, and then bringing the code enforcement under the direction of the building department. Kind of better aligning some of the strengths of both departments and both functions. We had put together some information and numbers. We won't have hard numbers until we truly dig into it, and we're not going to truly dig into what it's going to cost. It's going to cost a little bit more, right? But overall, I think we were estimating maybe the first year cost of being in the $150,000 additional range. Thereafter, the additional costs come from some additional personnel, so it's not going to be quite as much. the direction was we wanted some information on the numbers. I provided that to you guys in an email, but essentially, the Pride program, they're only spending about 25% of the time on blight enforcement. Most of their time is being spent on parking and other traffic enforcement type, parking vehicles, abandoned vehicles, all of that. It's not leaving enough time to do the code enforcement stuff that I think this council and the city is desirable of right now. We have problems with blight in the city. I think anybody drives down any street, they're going to see it. Whether it's in the commercial district, whether it's in residential, we have issues. We need to do better. I think the staff has come together and come up with a pretty good plan to do this, do it right. This was one of the council goals and objectives. This was an action step to get there. And working with the staff, we're all kind of behind this 100%. So at this point, there is a resolution to allow us to move forward. Yes, there's going to be some bumps in the road. And it's going to require some additional staffing in the police records division that we didn't have previously. It's going to require the addition of another code enforcement officer. This is a service that the city needs to provide. And if we want to improve it, it's going to cost us some more money. And that's kind of the decision point we're at right now.
Hearing that, I will read. Whereas, in support of the city strategic plan of 2022, as proposed, a realignment of the code enforcement was presented to the mayor and council at this study session on February 6, 2023. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council of Lincoln Park approve the restructuring of the code enforcement staff as presented on February 6, 2023 by reference.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Do we have any comments?
Through the chair. This is going to be 2 code enforcement officers that also do animal control?
No, so animal control will be part of parking. So it'll be parking enforcement and animal control. There will be 2 code enforcement officers that focus specifically on both the building code blight violations as well as environmental blight violations. So tall grass, noxious weeds, bushes, that sort of stuff, as well as then homes where they've had a tarp on the roof for, a year.
Right.
Homes that have had garage doors that have been broken for long time, right? These are things that will eventually also lead to additional permit activity in the building department, because a lot of these things are
Yeah.
projects that require a building permit. And so we'll be able to make sure they're done, and then make sure they're done right by enforcing the building permits and the inspection process. This will lead to stabilization of property values, increase in property values, and increase of quality of life for residents.
This is a little off but if a resident is indigent and they can't do that, is there a way for them to?
We have, I'm looking right back at
Okay,
Joan.
then that's what
We
Joan-
have.
okay.
Yep, that's part of the CDBG blight
Okay.
remediation programming.
Fabulous. Okay, thank you.
To the chair, I would just like to emphasize what Tracy did. I did have somebody reach out to me and use the phrase unfunded mandate, and not obviously wanting us to go after the real nitpicky stuff. And if people do have a hard time, with the cost of it, I know we just heard the CDBG presentation. So I would hope that there would still be, have that communication and flexibility to work with the residents as we try to, eliminate blight to raise everyone up in the city.
Absolutely. Well, and also this aligns very well with some of the other restructuring we've done in the last 16 months, bringing CDBG away from Parks and Rec and then bringing them back into City Hall. It's easier for them to be able, the building department to walk down the hallway and say, hey, I've got this person we're working with on a blight case, here's their information, I think they might need some help, right? It's going to have a better line of communication that way, having the code enforcement also then in City Hall.
And just so you know, before Jason and Eric joined the council, we did have a study session to talk about blight, to talk about, well, it was about what we want to see in the future of Lincoln Park, and everyone came to say blight was the big issue. So yeah, there's a lot of big stuff out there that we don't have to worry about the nitpick, but the big stuff has got to be taken care of, just so you're aware of.
To the chair, does this also fulfill the needs at the police department, the records position?
So it gives us the authorization to move forward with creating another full-time records position.
Will that records position be located here in the building department where you're?
No, that's separate from this. That is, so the current Pride coordinator does handle some other stuff with the towing because of the parking enforcement end of stuff, right? There's the working on the towing stuff, working on getting the auction set up. There's going to be, because that position won't be in the police department anymore, there is still a need for that stuff to be done. That's part of where the increase in the record staff will be.
I like the idea of this. I mean, I think it's a good way to move forward and get more done. I do have concerns about changing the structure of the building and the cost of the space for this. Now, it's my understanding that the ordinance in the building department, the gentlemen are only in there about 10% of the time. And you want to take down a wall, and you want, I'm worried about Carrie's space, not having enough space, the farmer's market, the Chamber of Commerce, all that plays into my thoughts on, this is a really good idea, it's a really good program, but what are we going to do with these other aspects of it?
Right, and that's what we have to really work diligently on over the coming weeks and months, is truly finding the space for everybody. But I do have to say, if finding the space to make this happen is what holds us up from doing this and redoing this program, then we probably should just walk away now, right? Like, if I'm just saying, that shouldn't be the thing that holds us back.
Well, no, but I mean, at the same time, it's a concern.
It is.
Because we don't want to, not have the farmer's market or the Chamber of Commerce, and we don't want to worry about the security of Carrie's equipment. We kind of need to know what's going to happen with that. There is some room in the building department. There's a desk there now that's not being used. Nobody's talking about utilizing what we actually have before. I have great concerns about tearing down a wall in this very old building. It's
Right, and it's absolutely understandable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
I guess my point is that if this isn't something, if that's what holds us back, right, that's kind of yes, it's a major part, but it's also kind of minor in the grand scheme of where we're trying to go, that we should be able to work through this,
Well,
right? Is my...
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, everything's electronic now anyway, so I don't think that that's a real issue for you to say that we shouldn't do it if that's we have questions about.
Right, no, and any kind of other building modifications still have to come back to this body. So we have to now, this will give us the go-ahead, all right, let's actually start drawing out where is everybody going to go. Let's try and figure out what desks do we need, what computers do we need, et cetera, that we can then come back and say, here's our final plan.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
I do have one question that I haven't heard addressed. Where will the vehicles be parked? Because we're gonna need some vehicles for them. They used to be, they could be in the police lot.
I think there's still some empty space in that lot between the fire department and the police department. There's also some space in the lot just south of the fire department. That lot's essentially empty throughout
It's
the...
always full, so I want to make sure that we're not taking
Right, no,
parking spots from the citizens.
no, it makes no sense to park city vehicles in the visitor spots, right? We've got that lot just south of of the fire department that there's routinely maybe 2 vehicles parked on a daily basis.
But I also want the vehicles safe at night, so it's a double,
Through the chair, Your Honor, if you don't mind,
but
I'll make this fast. I know there's a lot going on here. I watched the study session on film like 5 times. I took notes. But in regards to the code enforcement coordinator, is that going to be a city employee or is that going to be a building department employee?
It would be a city employee in the building department.
Okay, is that going up for bid or would that be hire somebody?
We'll have to, it'll probably go through the normal hiring process, so we'll have to post it
Okay.
internally.
And then the one current full-time contracted enforcement officer, who you can answer to?
Ultimately, he'll still answer to John Myers, the building official, just like he
And
is
it'll be
now.
a city official, then it'll be a building department official, then that person, the coordinator,
The coordinator would be, city employee.
under John's supervision.
Yes.
He's called an enforcement officer. You think he would have the authority, but okay. And the LP Pride is currently staffed by 4 people, right? One handles the calls and they dispatch them to 3 code officers, correct?
Right.
So they're going to add an LP Pride coordinator now. Is that a city
No,
job?
That won't be an added position,
It's not.
no.
That's what
The
it says
LP,
here.
no.
Add it.
The LP Pride coordinator is currently there. For-
Okay, so the big shakeup at LP Pride is,
There will be 2 code enforcement, but they won't be code enforcement anymore. They will be parking and animal control.
okay, and as far as logistics, I know it could be a nightmare, but it was also stated that we have to get this done. A decision has to be made before grass season starts. So I hope that everyone is on board and is doing their due diligence to make sure this works, because when grass season comes, a council is going to want to see some results. So
Right.
have at it. So thank you very much.
anybody else? Call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Next, I'll call up Carl, our DDA director.
Good evening, everyone. I want to say a few things about a resolution that I've asked you to consider to adopt policies for the downtown rental rehab program. And this has been a project that the city has allocated CDBG funds towards. There were $20,000 allocated 2 cycles ago, and then this past year, there was another $80,000. So we have enough money to actually have a program now. I was reluctant to put together anything if we only had $20,000, because that might have been a program of doing 2 units. We have now enough to do several units, and that's why I put the program policies together. Basically, 2 things that you should focus on. We intend to implement the program, assistance to rehabilitate rental units in the downtown, with a program that's very similar in nature to our downtown facade improvement program. The terms of that program are essentially a 50-50 match up to $10,000 of program funds to do facade improvements. What we would be doing with this program is using the CDBG program funding to address either area blight or spot basis blight. The thing that we would focus on with the expenditure of CDBG money would be on specific code items that make it difficult for somebody to rent their property out in safe standard and decent condition. There have been units in the downtown that we know are vacant now. I've talked to a couple of property owners in particular, and they're very interested in moving forward with rehab of a couple of rental units that they have that are currently unoccupied. We also focused this opportunity to properties that are in the core area of the downtown. Those are the properties that are essentially in that central area near the intersection of Fort Street and Southfield Road. That area, we've documented several conditions of area blighting influences that go beyond just problems with properties per se, private properties. Condition of roadways, alleys, so on and so forth. There's quite a few abandoned utility appurtenances that we've discovered in that core area that need to be addressed. And that's part of the overall strategy of the DDA to address those items. As I said, the funding would be available on a 50/50 percentage match up to $10,000 per unit. Now, the money, and I'm going to repeat this again, the money that we would spend out of the CDBG program would specifically go towards addressing bona fide code items. That means that these rental units are going to have a full-blown inspection by the building department. And the code items would be the items that we could fund. Okay, so where does the other funding or spending go? The private sector property owners could then spend an equivalent amount of money on general improvements to the real estate. You know, there may be carpet that needs to be replaced, painting just to refresh, maybe some other utilities and the like. Anything to make the units more appealing and available for occupancy. I want to point out that one of the reasons that we're approaching this with the slum and blighting influence opportunity with the CDBG program is that you do not have to then keep track of occupancy and limit it exclusively to low, moderate income persons. So these would be renovated units that could be rented out to at market rate generally in the community. We want to try to make downtown an attractive place, not just for low, moderate income persons, but for people with a little bit of income as well. Do you have any questions? If we could get this adopted, yes.
I know it's on the map, and I believe we talked at the DDA meeting, there was one block just past of the DDA area that you joined in with that?
Yeah.
Can you please explain that to us?
Yes. Okay, so the core area is the area that we focused on. There is this one block, it's the 1100 block on the west side of Fort Street, and it has several buildings in it that are not in the core area per se, but they do have some rental units in them. They're two-story buildings, and those addresses run from 1158 to 1180 Fort Street. We've done a little bit of research on some of those. One building in particular, the 1180 property, has some significant property tax liens on it. So there could be some other action going on. But what I explained to the DDA at the meeting was our first call on our program ought to be in the core area. If we find that there's not much interest in that and we have unspent funds, then we would want to be able to address possibly, if there's willingness, those properties in that 1100 block on the west side of Fort Street. So that would be a secondary possibility to improve housing in the greater downtown area.
Any other questions? Then I will call for the vote.
You need to read the resolution first.
Sorry. Resolved that the mayor and council hereby approved the proposed downtown rental rehab program guidelines as adopted by the Lincoln Park Downtown Development Authority at its regular meeting on February 9th, 2023.
So moved.
Support.
Now, any questions? Okay. And we will call for the vote.
Councilpersons Dupre,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Tobin. And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kazoo, you are up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I've got two items on the agenda. The first is for KD Cement Contracting Extension for the 2023 sidewalk program. Background, KD Cement LLC has offered to extend their contract unit rates for the 2023 sidewalk program at the 2022 unit rates. And those rates are 4-inch concrete, $11.25 per square foot. The 6-inch concrete sidewalks with $12.50 per square foot. Financial impact, the finances to come from account 410-001-983-000 Capital Improvement Fund. My recommendation is to recommend that Mayor and Council approve and award a contract extension to KD Cement at their present unit rates from the 2022 rates.
Be it resolved that the mayor and city council extend the KD Cement present contract for the 2023 sidewalk repair program. Contract at their low read 2022 unit rates.
So moved.
Support.
Not hearing anything, I will call for the vote.
Councilperson Salcido.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
Tobin.
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Again,
Thank you. The second item that I have on the agenda is for the 2023 Utility Repair Program Contract Extension for Great Lakes Contracting. Background, Great Lakes Contracting is offering to extend their low red 2022 contract unit rates for the 2023 unit repair program, or utility repair program. They have completed several projects in the city, such as the 2022 utility repairs, Howard and Abbott reconstruction, and the 2021 concrete sectioning program, all in a timely manner and within budget. Financial impact, there is a cost savings for extending their contract due to the price increase for materials and fuel. My recommendation is to recommend that the mayor and council approve the Great Lakes contract extension for the 2023 utility repair program at the current unit rates. And I would offer, with your, for yourself, Mayor, be it resolved that mayor and city council approve the Great Lakes Contracting contract extension request for the 2023 utility repair program at the current unit rates.
I'll move.
support. Any questions? We will call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross.
Yes.
Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Councilpersons Bear,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
and Tobin.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
We have a miscellaneous, so that, is everything okay with you? Yeah. Okay, all right. All right, resolved that a special meeting of the mayor and council be scheduled for February 27th, 2023 at 6 PM at the John A. Aloisi Council Chambers, 1355 Southfield Road, Lincoln Park, Michigan, to discuss the development projects jointly with the city boards and commissions.
I'll move.
Support.
Any questions? Call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross.
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Dupre, Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Now we will hear from the fire chief.
City managers report.
Oh, I'm sorry, city manager's report, sit back now.
I'll go quickly so he doesn't have to sit down long. Honestly, I don't have a huge report for you tonight. Last meeting, I went through all of our ARPA projects and where we stood. At either the next meeting or the meeting following, it'll be about time for me to give an update on the strategic plan, goals and objectives and the progress thereof. So that'll be coming at one of the next coming meetings here. But a couple items of note. Most people have either or will soon be receiving their assessing notices for the year. And there is definitely going to be a little bit of a sticker shock this year. For the first time in almost 30 years since Proposal A was adopted, we actually hit the CPI cap, right? For those who don't know, your taxable value is capped by either 5% or the rate of inflation, whichever is less. And for the last 29 years, the rate of inflation has actually been under that 5%. So we haven't hit that cap. This year is the first year it was over. So there's definitely going to be some sticker shock. So, and assessing is gearing up for the March Board of Review, which I think it's the second week of March. So if you see any of our assessing team running around as if their hair is on fire, I think they feel like it is. So be kind to them. Also, as we're starting to hit this crazy season of weather of freezing and thawing, potholes are going to be an issue. This isn't a Lincoln Park issue. This is our climate issue. But want to remind everybody there is a process on the website whereby people can report potholes and they go to the appropriate people and they get on the list to be repaired. Also, everybody needs to be aware there is the possibility of a pretty good storm, an ice storm coming starting tomorrow at 12. Hopefully it misses us. We're planning for the worst but hoping for the best. And then lastly, I've mentioned the state of Michigan's pension funding grant. It's looking like they should have the applications for municipalities to submit in the next probably 2 months, with the funding supposed to be distributed by mid-August. So hopefully we get that funding in mid-August. We are one of the poster children communities in this program. We're one of the big eligible communities. This goes to fund municipalities whose pension funds are below 60%, and it's supposed to provide funding to get us to that 60%. We have to maintain doing the same type of stuff we've been doing, not increasing any kind of benefits, not making any big plan changes for 5 years, but it's a big deal. This is huge. So those are the big things going on. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions anybody might have.
I just have one quick one. Since you brought up the taxes that are coming up and citizens that are upset, when they want to appeal, where do they call to? What are they supposed to do?
They should call the assessing office to see if they can schedule a time to go to the assessing Board of Appeals. That's where, at this point, the assessment it's out of the hands of the assessing office, but the Board of Appeals can hear them, and they'll make a determination before the tax rolls are turned over.
Second of all, I understand you've had a plan put before you for Lions Park's wall. Can you tell me where we're at with that?
Looking for funding.
Okay. Anybody else?
Through the chair.
Tracy?
James, if we could have a list from January, and I think we missed December, of the new businesses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Anybody else? Now the fire chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to go over some response data for this quarter. Total calls for service, we did 2,536. EMS calls we responded to were 1,894. and we were unable to respond to 343. We had 54 fire calls, 29 building fires or structure fires, 7 vehicle, 9 rubbish, grass, and dumpster fires, and we went on 11 mutual aids. We had 54 gas wires down or carbon monoxide, and we had 136 false alarms. We gave mutual aid to other communities 39 times, and we received aid 269 times in the past quarter. We had 6 civilian fire-related injuries. The fire code enforcement team quarterly report, we did 212 inspections or re-inspections. We investigated 18 complaints, and we gave out 1,506 smoke detectors we gave out during that time. The fire code enforcement team currently has 8 members, or 3 members performing fire life safety, ensuring all businesses in the city are safe to the citizens, patrons, and employees. Captain Lewis and Sergeant Norton will be attending the Michigan Fire Inspectors Society Conference at the end of March. The conference is beneficial for maintaining State of Michigan Fire Inspector license for Plans Examiner and Fire Inspector 1 and 2. We did a whole bunch of training over this last quarter. All the members keep up on their EMS licensure. Some of the stuff that they were taught online were capnography. We did ACLS recertification and BLS. And all members were recertified in FEMA ICS 200 and 700. The members who are on specialty teams train monthly with the respective teams. Currently, we have 3 members on hazmat and 3 members on arson. Operations, we were awarded AFG grant for a self-contained breathing apparatus just this past January. We were awarded this with Allen Park for $124,000. We will be able to replace all the SCBAs on all our front line apparatus. Right now, we have a hodgepodge of old and new. In August, we were awarded a AFG grant for turnout gear, boots, helmets, gloves, and ANSI vests. All personnel have been sized, and the gear has been ordered. We should receive this gear by summertime, hopefully. We've hired 2 new firefighters this quarter, so we're at full strength. Our manpower is still, 2 firefighters are not considered manpower at this time. They will be in the next 3 to 6 weeks. The names are Melissa Jensen and firefighter Justin O'Green. Sam Poyle just finished her firefighter 1 and 2 certification on Monday. This Friday, she takes the State of Michigan test, and she starts on shift, hopefully full-time on Sunday, and she'll be considered man-powered. 5 surface rows were purchased with CDBG funding for the fire inspectors, and we will be transitioning to BSNA with the building department to help streamline with building information. Notable activities, I did a CIP for the next 6 years, was given to the city manager. Several grants were applied for this quarter, most notable AFG. 3 were regional grants, 1 was a mini grant, and I did a firehouse sub grant for more equipment. Any questions?
To the chair?
Yeah.
I was wondering, in light of the very public train derailments we've had, not in this, just in this area, but obviously Ohio, how many hazmat incidents would your 3 specialty officers, how many would they normally respond to or partake in?
So we are considered just under a Tier 2 team in the MABUS, so we would not be deployed to East Palestine. In Van Buren, there was no hazardous material spilled, but there have been train derailments here, but no hazardous calls. We would go to those if they were in downriver.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just want to say that your men were in my neighborhood, and nothing but good was said from anybody, and the people who they were with, pure praise about handling everything, and thank you.
That's good. Thank you. Any other questions?
No, thank you, Chief.
All right, you're welcome.
With that, we will move on to citizen comments. Anybody would like to talk to our body?
Well, obviously, you see the shirt that I'm wearing in honor of the horrible losses and injuries that occurred there. Praying for them every day. One of the things that happened, and I want to bring it to your attention, this has probably been brought up, was there was I used to go to the cop on the block in Allen Park, and there was a meeting they had at one of their grade schools. And there is a school thing that can get funded where they can block the doors, signal to the students, they do some training. So to find out about it, there was a packet, but you can call the Allen Park Police Department and they can give you some of that information. They may have brought this up before, but they said there are some grants to do it, and it does it where you can block the doors. They signal to the students to lay down, hide, and stuff, and provide some security if there is this incident, since they keep occurring. So again, Allen Park Police, you can give them a call, they can explain it. I just wanted to bring that up, and again, I'm praying for those poor folks who've been affected by this. That's so difficult. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to talk to? Okay, then back, we will go to our council president.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a quick things. It's been a long day today. But anyway, I just want to let you know the places I visited this past week. Plaza Antiques on Dixon Champaign. Great place to shop and look around. I can't emphasize it's a great place to just go in there and go down memory lane anyway. Also, the record store, Hello Records on Fort Street and Goddard. They don't have signs up yet, but go in that store if you need any kind of music or whatever. I have some 45s I'm going to hopefully have them buy from you, but definitely go in there if you want to hear some old music, new music. He has the music. And also Harry's Corned Beef, Dixon, or Fort Street and Champaign. I was there this past weekend, and once again, good food, good price, and that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tracy?
I just have a few dates for people to put on their calendars. April 22nd is the Lincoln Park Citywide Cleanup. April 29th is our Cinco de Mayo celebration, and May 21st, the Memorial Day Parade. Those are 3 dates that people seem to lose track of, so just wanted to put those out there, and with that, I will say good night and God bless.
Thank you. Councilman Tolman?
I guess I'm going to talk about the chocolate walk. It was a lot of fun. I always have fun, but I had exceptional fun that day. The people were great. The businesses went over the top. Some of the businesses created little bags for people. One of the businesses, the new Ace-sided, actually ordered chocolate fortune cookies to hand out, which was very cool. The people that came back, that finished the walk and brought their paperwork back, were just so happy, and they didn't know a lot of the businesses were there. And a lot of them said that they were happy they went, and they will be visiting them again, which is really, really good for the city. A lot of walkers. It was just a really, really good day, and it was nice out. That helped a lot. So I think that being said, when we do this quarter, I think that we should look at the fall maybe for Sweet Estate area that time, and do one on the Dix corridor, and give some of those businesses some people to come in and check out. Currently working on Cinco de Mayo with Carl and the DDA. It's April 29th from noon till 7. We have food trucks, bounce houses, face painters. We have mariachi, we have Mexican ballet, we have a Santana band, and we have vendors and crafters. We're going to have an opening ceremony we're looking for someone to sing the Mexican anthem. So if anybody knows any Mexican singers, Spanish singers that would like to join us, please send them my way. I think it would be a beautiful tribute to that part of our culture in the city here. And other than that, that's just about it. Everybody stay safe and watch out for that ice tomorrow. Thank you.
Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to start out by letting you know, fellow council members, that I attended the City of Southgate's council meeting. The purpose was to try and get ideas for us to streamline our meetings so that they're not quite so long. They really are very short, so I encourage you to, if you cannot attend a meeting, watch one on YouTube, because they televise their meetings as well. And then we can talk to the mayor or talk to the city manager about what you think might help us. But at that meeting, we have a resident by the name of Dan Lovett who received an award for saving a gentleman's life on a house fire in Southgate. So I want to just say congratulations to Dan Lovett, and what a benefit to us to have him as our resident. Wayne County Household Hazardous Waste has already set their dates for their events, and the first one is in Belleville at the Wayne County Community College at 9555 Haggerty Road, and that's going to be April 1st from 8 to 1. And if you have a little one, it's not too late to sign up for the Lincoln Park Little League. And the last registration is March 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Downriver Christian Center Church at 1069 Buckingham here in Lincoln Park. And that's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Bear?
I'd just like to reiterate one specific date that Councilwoman Dupree brought up. Our Memorial Day Parade is fast approaching. Our planning and organizing efforts are well underway. We had our last Hands of the City meeting this past Sunday. And then we also have our Downriver Comic Book and Collectible Show that first weekend of June, which is just 2 short weeks after the parade. So those are our 2 tentpole events that we put on. The Comic Book and Collectible Show is at Lincoln Park High School, and it does benefit Lincoln Park Athletics. So if anyone is interested in getting involved with either of those 2 events, please reach out to anyone from Hands of the City, anyone from the mayor and council on down. We would love to have you, and it does take a lot of work putting on both of those events. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Zorn?
Yes, I just wanted to say that my heart goes out to MSU students as well as and their families, and that I met with the Board of Education as their liaison, and they're happy that we have a connection and how important it is with our water leak situations, water main breaks, power outages, how important it is not only for the citizens but for the schools. So they were very happy that we have contacts and communications. Other than that, the assessor's office is doing everything that they can be doing right now at this time. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I will say, because it was brought up earlier, as a former school employee, I will tell you that every Lincoln Park school employee goes through emergency training. So if something would happen, we know what is supposed to happen. We know what we are supposed to do. Lincoln Park Police have been there 2 different times that I know of that did major training with us. And just wanted everybody to know that the schools are aware of issues and are very well on top of it. That's all I have for tonight. And with that, I will call for A motion to adjourn.
Motion? Yep. Support.
Salcido,
Yes.
Bear, Ross. No,
We're in the middle of...
I'm calling roll. I'm sorry. Councilpersons Dupre,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Ross. Yes. Zor,
Yes.
Tobin. Yes. And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Thank you.